Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable at your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
In today's economy, cash flow is tight, and families are held captive to high interest rate credit card debt. Churchill Mortgage can restructure your current mortgage and significantly reduce these problems. Get a free analysis and learn how to eliminate credit card interest rates, lower bills, and start taking control of your budget. Get started at churchillmortgage.com. This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
Times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast. It's great to be back with you. How have you been? Hello, hi.
How are your kids? Oh my God, we haven't seen you in so long.
It's so good to see you. We're sitting at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. Whoa,
sorry.
Not that intersection.
Not that intersection.
Different podcast. I'm Israel Wright, one of your hosts, former Green Beret. With me, as always,
Cameron Fath, former Army Ranger, and I'm ecstatic to be here, if you can't ttell by the sound of my voice. Today's an awesome episode.
Today is great.
Yeah, today's an exciting episode because we're going to talk about what are we
going to talk about, Marble Mouth?
That's why I couldn't join this specific branch,
You
because
weren't
I'm
smart
dumb as
enough
rocks.
with your
I'm
words.
not smart enough. The Air Force.
The Air Force,
Yes.
yeah. Or
the
things
Fly
in the air.
Boys, the
Yes.
Chair Force, the one branch that everybody wishes they joined after they joined another branch.
That's right.
Yeah. These guys don't get enough love because...
They don't deserve it.
Yeah, because they don't deserve it. No. The Air Force is a great branch.
It is.
I have a personal connection to the Air Force just because, like I said, I really wish I joined the Air Force. Their special operations group is a cut above, if you will. Their PJs, their TAC-Ps, their JTACs. I mean, after getting out of the regiment, I actually thought about joining the Air Guard and pursuing to become a TAC-P or a JTAC. Ooh. Yeah, because that is a cool-ass job, son. And now I don't do that. So,
now we can just talk about it.
Now we can just talk about it. But yes, death from above!
That's right. Well, and we should kind of expand it. We're not just talking about the Air Force today. We're talking about anything having to do with the air war, the air battles.
The Air Corps started in 1941.
Yeah,
was part of the Army's aviation unit that fought the Germans from the skies.
For which my grandfather on my mom's side worked.
Oh, he was in the Air Corps?
My father's side, yeah. He was in the Army Air Corps. He flew bombing missions over Italy in World War II.
That's awesome. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about everything that has to do with the sky.
Because we're talking about Top Gun, but that's technically Navy pilots.
Right. Every branch has their own form of aviation. Just the Air Force is responsible for a big majority of it, and their operations expand to and past the air. Because I know they got integration of the Space Force now, which is their own branch, but they're going to be looking even higher. They're going to be looking to aerospace and the galaxies above.
Why do I feel like that's going to become more and more relevant in the future in
because
a bad
it will.
way?
Because it will.
We're really actually going to need the Space Force.
Yeah, the next Cold War is going to be over Mars.
Yeah, that's right.
Fighting for civilization on Mars. That's going to be the next comment. Forget about China. Forget about the near and peer threat.
Did you ever see Ad Astra with Brad Pitt?
No,
it has a very realistic depiction, or as near as can be, like near future space battle on the moon. Like they're on these Land Rovers and they're getting attacked by like pirates. They're trying to like attack, and there's an actual
very shooting, Treasure Planet
guns
vibes
and all that kind of stuff.
Let's slip into the wind here. That's airborne. That's an airborne. Into the wind? Slip into the wind. That's an airborne joke. But let's get the ball rolling on this and talk about some movies that really highlight our aviators.
Yes.
So the first one, and the most apparent, the most obvious in the military genre is going to be Top Gun. Yeah. Tom Cruise, Goose, and what is it, Wizard and or Merlin, Merlin,
Iceman,
Wizard, Iceman,
Maverick,
yeah, just an all-around classic, something that makes you want to get in Ranger panties and dog tags and go play volleyball with the boys.
Hiya, playing with the boys. The music in that movie,
it's legendary,
so iconic.
Highway to the danger zone.
Yeah,
awesome soundtrack.
yeah.
It goes without saying.
And it was just a really, and this was not Ridley Scott, his brother Tony Scott, right? Tony Scott directed. Yep, yeah, Tony Scott directed.
Chris confirms.
Yep, he confirmed.
Chris, the all know.
No, just like I remember, I know that I saw this in the theaters, right? 1986. I saw almost everything in the theaters when it came out. My parents did not care. They let me see everything.
Terrible parents.
Except unless it had boobs, no boobs.
No boobies.
But I remember.
Does Top Gun have boobs?
There's a love scene, but it's tastefully done.
It's tastefully done.
Him and I forget the lady's name, but yeah, they lampoon it in like in what is it, Hot Shots?
No, yeah,
yeah, where he's like bouncing like an olive off of her navel into her mouth, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like cooking bacon on her stomach, you know. And
It's Kelly
Classic.
McGillis.
That sounds
Kelly
tastefully
McGillis,
done.
yes.
Kelly
That
McGillis.
sounds tastefully done.
Yes,
But what's your favorite scene from Top Gun? I know mine is when he's explaining, and it's an iconic scene when he's like, "I was inverted."
let's see. I'm trying to think back of like. I always love like. See, now I'm getting Hot Shots and this movie mixed up because
Completely
like
scrambled in your
yeah,
brain.
where he like comes up and he flies the plane, and he like hits the plane with his wings, like like knocks their noggins, you know, and then flies off. Oh man, it's so crazy. And then the scene in Top Gun where he's riding his motorcycle parallel to the runway, and the jet takes off and he goes woo yeah, and he like cheers him on, and then he hits all the speed bumps. That's in Hot Shots, but. I mean, actually, Goose dying. Like, I remember being a kid and watching that and like crying because he died.
No!
Yeah, I was like,
isn't that
no.
right in the beginning too?
It's like halfway through.
Is it halfway through?
Yeah.
Oh man, isn't Tom Cruise? Because it's been a while since I've seen this movie, and I saw this movie when I was in the military, just because that's how much of an impact this movie has in the military. I remember my team leader kept talking about it. I was like, "What is Highway to the Danger Zone? Why does he keep singing the song?"
Wow.
So I went ahead and watched it.
What was it like? Because I saw when I was a kid, right when it came out, the theaters. But what was it like watching it for you? Like, did it have a big impact? Like, can you see why?
Yeah,
it's such
no,
an iconic
definitely. I
movie?
mean, it has so many one-liners, like the whole "I was inverted" and
Yeah.
like so many.
You can
things.
ride my tail anytime.
Yeah, just it's one of those classic. It's 80s movie, right?
Yeah,
Classic
1986.
80 movies that you can just quote all day long, like Predator and let's see what other 80s movies like. I can't think of. My brain's dead.
Wait. Oh, go ahead.
I said my brain's dead.
I mean, I'm just looking at one of the notes we have, the F-14 flat spin scene. I remember the flat spin, but Art Scholl died during the filming of Top Gun when his Pitt's S-2 camera plane failed to recover from a spin and plunged into the Pacific Ocean. Wow.
Oh, so there's a confirmed kill on this movie set?
Yeah, he entered a spin intentionally in order to capture it on film using onboard cameras. Well, we gotta ban planes from movies, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's how it works, right? When an accident
something
happens,
happens, you
you
just
ban something.
ban the piece of equipment.
Making
you blame
movies
the
is
equipment.
dangerous, people. That's what you don't understand.
Yeah, we should just ban movies actually, because then nobody would die making a movie.
Absolutely. That's a
I
good
didn't know
idea.
that. That's an interesting little tidbit of trivia. That's too bad.
That is really bad. Oh no.
It was like that the Twilight Zone movie. The portion they cut out of the guy who had memories of Vietnam, and then he actually gets transported back to Vietnam to save some kids, and they actually had a real helicopter on set, and that helicopter crashed,
yeah.
and it decapitated him. It killed them all.
Oh my
I was like,
god.
oh, and that changed a lot of like rules after. That was Steven Spielberg was in charge of that segment. That changed a lot of rules after that about.
Yeah, making movies is
Safety and
dangerous
stuff
work,
like
man.
that.
I
Yeah.
remember when you were doing Tenet, some of the scenes were like, yo, you should probably train these guys first. I remember I ended up being, I remember there was one scene where we were on blue team and we had to run in reverse off of a Chinook towards a Chinook. And there was a vehicle bombing in reverse up this hill and had to come basically around us as we were running in reverse. And I ended up being the last man to kind of check everybody. And I came within 10 feet of like a car blasting at like 40 miles an hour in reverse. So I'd be like, slow down, fast, slow down. And then And then they also had Chinooks flying above. And anybody that's ever been around a Chinook or CH-47, you know to stay away from the front of it because the propellers come down and can actually decapitate you if you're in front because they're constantly moving up and down. And like there was a point where like we got really close to that, and I had to really step up and be like, "Yo!"
Actually, be like a safety.
Yeah, actually, like
Not
make sure
just
nobody was going to
extra.
get decapitated. Yeah,
Oh, man.
so making movies is dangerous work, man. As people don't realize.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
why you have
Top
to
Gun.
learn safety. Yeah, so Top Gun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, what's your favorite scene? Like, you asked me mine, but what about yours?
I told you, man. When they're playing volleyball.
Oh, the volleyball,
In
okay.
the volleyball scene.
Volleyball scene.
When they're playing volley, it's just an iconic scene. That's like, we talk about movies that make you feel good. And it's like movies that you can relate to. And like, going to the beach with all my Ranger buddies and wearing like Ranger panties on the beach and everything. We weren't wearing dog tags because we weren't that gay. But, no, it was, that one's an iconic. It just really, really fulfills that sense of community with your, or a sense of some
Camaraderie.
brotherhood and camaraderie. I think they do a really good job of that in the movie.
Predictions for the new one, the one that was completed like 2 years ago that is yet to come out.
Oh, I have no idea, man.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it.
It
though.
looks. I mean, just the trailers make it look like amazing, and I guess he actually flew the plane.
Tom Cruise likes
sounds
to do
like
his
something
own
Tom
stuff.
Cruise would
Yeah,
do,
he likes
yeah.
to do his own stunts. But yeah, man, Top Gun, 1986, definitely a classic, and does the aviators. I wonder how many people saw the movie and they were like, "I want to fly."
I wonder, how many. I'm sure that had. To have
That had to
inspired some
be.
people.
That had to be. But let's move on, man. Which one do you want to pick here off our list?
We can talk about The Right Stuff. You ever seen The Right Stuff?
No, I have not. So
I can say a few words about it, man. I actually they had an event that my buddy told me about. We went to the local American Legion post.
Oh, went to the
Post
local Air
43.
Force Base?
Yeah, but we go Air Force Base and flew around. I remember watching the Challenger land. Oh, not the Challenger. The Challenger did not land. I remember watching one of the space just speaking of early 80s memories, one of the space shuttles coming in for a landing out at Edwards Air Force Base.
Oh,
My
nice.
dad took my brother and I to go out. That was like 84 or 5 or something like that. Anyway, sorry.
All right.
Sidetrack. The Right Stuff. Yeah, about the early days of the space program, right? Based off the Tom Wolfe novel, I think. And then, it's super great. Like, amazing cast of people who later went on to become like movie icons. John Glenn, Ed Harris. You got, Alan Shepard, Scott Glenn, played by Scott Glenn. You got Dennis Quaid, isn't it? Like a very young Dennis Quaid.
Is this the movie where they try to break the sound barrier?
Yes, that's in the
this
beginning
movie?
of the movie. Yeah,
Oh,
him breaking
that's
the
the right
sound
stuff
barrier.
where they're like, once they hear the crack, they're like trying to be able to. Oh, I have seen this movie actually.
Yeah, it's a really long movie. It's like 2.5, 3 hours long, but it goes from that moment, like breaking the sound barrier, all the way through the beginning of the space program. And them
Interesting.
trying to go out to out into space. It was just one of those like iconic, great like American movies.
Yeah,
You know?
makes you real patriotic while watching it.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are some of my favorite movies, man. When it's like the race against another country, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Let's go, America!"
Let's go, America! Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, do you remember what is it, Rocket Man? Not Rocket Man, but like the Rocketeer or something like that.
Rocketeer's a good one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can talk about Rocketeer if you want to.
I don't want to.
He's a pilot.
He is a pilot, and he
Yeah.
gets in that spacesuit, right? That lets him go crazy. It's like
Well, it's a rocket pack.
it's a jetpack,
classic
right?
based on a classic like comic book. Yeah, and it's an experimental thing by Howard Hughes, and the Nazis are trying to steal it.
Yes.
so they can make like flying super soldiers. I love in that because like the gangsters are a part of it, but they don't know that they're working for the Nazis, and then when they find out, they're like, "Hey, I may be a gangster, but I'm still an American." I don't know what he says, but he's like, and they turn against the Nazis, and then he's like flying. He's like, "Go get him, kids! Go
get him, kid.
And Jennifer Connelly is in that.
Nice.
She played a lounge
The
singer.
Rocketeer.
Yeah, the Rocketeer's
I actually
girlfriend.
never finished the Rocketeer. I forgot where I started watching it.
Oh, it's good, man. You should finish it. It's a classic. Is that a Disney movie?
It's
Yeah.
Disney. Great score.
Yeah.
The score is like, if you just hear the score, you're like, I can do anything.
yeah, it's very uplifting, which is appropriate.
Very appropriate for a Disney movie. Well, I'm glad I brought that up. I'm so smart. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. So,
Look at that.
Yeah,
So the
but
right stuff.
The right stuff. Yeah, no, it's great. And they recently did they remake it or something like? Or are they remaking it? I don't know, maybe. I know that they kind of touch on it a little bit with that Apple TV series, For All Mankind. It kind of starts there, but like instead of us landing on the moon first, the Russians land on the moon first.
Oh,
And
no.
then everybody gets pissed off and like, we're going to do it. We're going to ram those Russians hardcore. I shouldn't have said that.
We're gonna ram those Russians.
You know what I
Ram 'em
mean,
right in the butt.
figuratively speaking, to the moon.
To the moon.
But yeah, let's move on. What else you got?
Dude, I wanted to talk about, have you ever seen Unbroken?
No, man.
That's a really good
I want to.
What
I gotta watch. There's a lot
What
of movies I
happened
gotta
to it?
watch.
It was right on it was on my list here. Ah, right here. Unbroken. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, really cool story. It's based off a true story.
Yeah.
And they made it. And I heard the book. There's a lot that happens in the book that's not included in the movie because the book is like intense.
Dude.
So basically, World War II veteran. He's in the Air Corps. Louis Zamperini. He's actually a former Olympic track star who survived the plane crash on the Pacific Theater and spent 47 days drifting on the raft. And once he was rescued, he wasn't rescued by the U.S., he was rescued by the Japanese and then spent 2.5 years as a POW
Oh my
in 3
gosh.
Japanese POW
The
camps.
Japanese are not known for their
Yeah, they're not
POW
hospitality.
camp
Yeah,
hospitality.
They're not known for their hospitality for POWs. But the movie's so good, man. I mean, this guy, talk about resilience and talk about being like a strong individual. I mean, this guy in the movie
Unbelievable.
suffers at the hands of a very specific Japanese officer that's just literally just trying to break him the entire time. And the title or the main picture of the movie, like the what do you call it, the movie board? Or
Yeah, the poster.
Yeah, the poster is like him holding this log above him.
Yeah.
And in the movie, he's actually, they're trying to break him in like the 3rd internment camp that he's in. And the general makes him carry this log on his back for days at a time.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like, he's like, break. And he just ends up like finding some strength and lifts it above his head. And he's like, "Ah!" And you see this and you're just like, oh my God,
Dude.
He's literally unbroken. But like what I was talking about with the book, there was a part in the book that's really fucked up that's not in the movie. Apparently, like the POWs had like a pet chicken that like gave them like some sort of, some happiness because they're obviously POWs. And like the guards kind of caught wind of this chicken bringing the prisoners happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So what the guards did is they found the chicken and in front of all the prisoners, they fucked it to death.
What?
Yeah, literally. That's in the book. And
Oh
like,
my-
could you imagine?
I thought you were saying like they killed the chicken.
No,
or
they
something.
did kill the
Well,
chicken
they did,
with their
oh.
wiener.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
gosh, that's
brutal.
so disgusting.
Yeah, it's so gross, so brutal. But can you imagine the psychological trauma that came out of that?
Dude.
Because Louis Zamperini, before he joins, he's a track star. He like went to the Olympics and everything, and then joined the Air Corps to fly. And he was running. Oh man, he was running like 4-minute miles.
Wow.
Yeah, like the beginning of the movie shows him like being a kid and like running, and then it fast forwards him as kind of like an adult-ish, and the dude's like setting the Air Corps records for like the mile run, like running him at like 4:11, and it's nuts. The dude was an absolute train.
The movie was directed by Angelina Jolie, right?
I think so,
Oh, cool.
something like that. But great movie, man. I definitely have to revisit it because
I gotta watch that.
It's just such a powerful movie, and it's one of those patriotic movies that you watch. And you're just like, man, it makes you proud to be like an American because there's people like this that serve, and there's people like this that it really embody the military as a whole. And that's something like I watched it while I was, I think, a brand new private, and I was just like, I'm so glad to be in the military. Made me very proud. It's an awesome movie. Unbroken. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one, dude. That's a good one.
This one has we can break away a little bit because this one has an Air Force officer in it, but it's not necessarily about the Air Force. It's Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
And there's a lot you could say about Red Dawn.
Oh, absolutely. Classic, man.
Yeah.
Russian and the Cubans get together. And it's, with the remake of the remake with, was it Chris Hemsworth and stuff?
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, they should have just left that movie alone because they like completely revamped it and like made it about North Korea.
Yeah.
And like
invading.
the original was like the Russians and the Cubans, which were
Cuban
full
invade.
communists. That was
Takes
like
place
the
in
Cold
Colorado.
War.
Yeah, that's a Cold War movie down the line.
Oh yeah. And then the officer they encounter is Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Tanners. And
Powers Booth.
Yes,
is the actor.
Powers Booth is the actor, and there's the iconic scene when they're all after they rescue him, the Wolverines rescue him, they're all sitting around the fire, and he says, and they're talking about the Russians, and he's just like, all that hate's gonna burn you up, kid.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, it's what keeps me warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, such an iconic scene,
Yep.
just an iconic little verse or quote from that movie. Such a good movie.
So good, man. I just I remember the stupidest things, but like when they first find him, he gets shot down, and she's like interrogating him. She's like, "What's the capital of Texas?" And he's like, "Austin." He's like, "It's Houston." He's like, "You watched too many movies." And I actually thought at the time it was Houston. I'm like, wait, is Austin the capital of Texas?
It is.
It
You
is.
failed geography.
I'm not
didn't
an
you?
American.
You're not an American. What's the capital?
Actually, if you fail geography, I think that makes you more American.
That's
Americans historically bad at geography.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to jump in on that.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Chris.
Yeah, but Red Dawn, that's a classic one.
Another classic. Well, let's talk about Independence Day.
Independence Day, Will Smith.
I'm Fly. I'm Pilot.
Yeah.
Speaking of one-liners, that's another one, kind of a feel-good,
Yeah.
kind of movie. And then also,
Tell my kids I love them.
yeah. Oh man, when he sacrifices himself
Yeah.
at the end,
He's
the
just
best
a-
role that he ever played.
Yeah, I know. Literally, that guy. Who plays that guy?
Oh, brother, he's one of the
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. He's one of the
Randy
Quaids,
Quaid.
the lesser Quaid.
The lesser Quaids of all the Quaids.
He's the crazy Quaid. Yeah. Quaid, start the reactor, Quaid. Free Mars. Okay, that was an awful one too. But yeah, Independence Day, alien attack, man. Nothing unifies humanity like an alien attack.
Oh yeah, I
know.
mean you can have all the differences in the world, but when you're fighting for your own survival, it's like okay, let's maybe put our differences aside and try to fight something bigger than ourselves.
Really great speech by the president. We'll do an episode on great speeches, and that'll be in there.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to live on. Today we declare our Independence Day. It's like, that's how you work in the title to a movie.
Yeah, and Will Smith, he's a pilot as well, right?
Yeah, Will Smith plays a pilot. Is he a Navy pilot or an Air Force pilot? I forget.
Actually, I don't know because they're flying out of an airbase out in the desert, but they're flying F-18s, which is kind of a Navy plane. But I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
I'd say Air Force because he's also trying to get into he's trying to become an astronaut, and that's typically the route.
There you go.
So we'll say
Oh,
Air
he's a
Force.
Marine Corps pilot.
Ooh, no
Yeah.
one saw
The
that
Marine
coming.
Corps has an
Yes.
Air Corps?
Yeah, and the Marine Corps does have an aviation department. It's just
gosh.
nobody ever hears about it because the recruiter tells all these kids they can be pilots in the Marine Corps, and it never happens.
And that's why he's flying an F-18 because the Marines are part of the Navy.
Yep,
there you go.
Marine Corps pilot. Stephen Hiller.
That's what I learned about the Fox 3, Fox 2, the fire in it. That's good because the character in Valkyrie in Apex Legends says that. Fox 3, which fires missiles, which is very important.
Absolutely. No,
yeah.
but Independence Day is a real good one, man. I enjoy watching
It holds up, yeah.
It does
I've watched
hold up,
since
and I
it
do
came-
like when they're having the dog fights between the alien ships and the F-18s. Even though they're completely outgunned, he manages to take out that alien.
Yeah.
and, like, gets out of his what does he get shot down or something?
Well, they're in a canyon, and he pulls his chute thing in it, and it covers the visor.
Yeah,
and
and
the
it
ship
crashes.
crashes into the land and kind of skids to a halt. And he goes up to it. It's getting out of his thing, and he punches it.
Yeah, he's like,
Welcome to Earth.
did Hiller just kill an alien by punching him in the face?
Yep. He goes, that's what I call close encounter.
Oh my
Will
god.
Smith. One of Will Smith's finest roles.
Yeah, If you know how every actor has like one of those roles that really defines them, like Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter till
Yep.
the day he dies, no matter what he does.
Yep.
Or
nobody else.
or nobody, and that's the only one that exists.
Mark Hamill will always be Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill will
always be Luke Skywalker. Who plays the mummy? Not the guy.
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser will always be a mummy hunter, and
Yeah.
no matter what else he does.
Yep. Yeah, Will Smith will always be remembered for Independence Day.
Yeah, and the
And the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson just plays himself in every single movie.
Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson will be remembered as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
playing himself in every single movie.
A mountain of a man.
Yeah, literally. Oh yeah, Elijah Woods is
Huck Finn.
he Huck Finn? Nah, Elijah Woods, man. will always be
Do they,
Frodo
Gandalf?
Baggins. Yeah, do they Gandalf?
Frodo, don't wear the ring. You'll never be the Lord of the Rings.
Here, man. Did you watch Dunkirk?
I love Dunkirk.
Yeah, that's a Christopher Nolan film, right?
Yep, Chris Nolan.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it.
One of the... Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Actually, I've seen bits and pieces, like when they're all fighting to get on the ship,
Yeah.
and then the ship gets sunk.
Yeah,
And they're all
that's
like,
a...
Yeah.
You know, the format, he kind of does a cool time thing where the stuff that happens on the beach is the course of a week. The stuff that happens in the air or in the boat is the course of a day. And the stuff that happens in the air with Tom Hardy and the pilots is 1 hour.
Really?
So it'll cut between and you'll see the events of one thing in another thing eventually in another section, but it won't happen until like whenever they cross paths.
Because doesn't like Tom Hardy end up landing on the beach? And
he does. That's the last thing. It's a really cool. It's basically about the evacuation of Dunkirk. Getting all their troops off so they can they activate civilian boats to all go over. And they all transport them away.
And all the flights, all the birds come in and just start picking them off.
Oh yeah, and Tom Hardy and his buddies play. I think Cillian Murphy plays one of the pilots who gets shot down, and then one of the civilian boats picks him up. But Tom Hardy's like the pilot, or the Air Corps, Royal Air Corps, fighting off the Germans and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a really... I watched...
You gotta watch it, man. It's so good. It's
okay, so I lied to you. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
So, the truth comes out.
Yeah, so I've seen the movie. That's why I know, I remember Tom Hardy landing on the beach. I remember them all trying to get on that boat, and finally when they get on the boat, it gets sunk, and everybody's, fighting to get off of it and everything. Yeah, it's an
slowly,
intense movie.
Tilting over.
It's an intense movie, and everybody's screaming and everything. That's
You gotta,
I'm surprised they didn't make a movie about what was that Navy ship that went down? That basically the character from Jaws is based off
the
of?
USS Indianapolis.
Yeah, the USS
they did make a movie.
They did.
It's got Nicolas Cage in it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, wait,
yeah, and probably not very good.
I don't think it's very good, but
okay.
You can find it and watch it. It's got your favorite boy Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I'll have to put that on my list.
Is it called the Indianapolis?
It's called USS Indianapolis Men of Valor or something like that.
Men of Valor. Very Nick Cage title.
You gotta watch out for those titles. And a title like that,
man,
but it doesn't bode well. You gotta watch. Yeah, no, Dunkirk's great. It's I love the
Zenni believes everyone deserves access to high-quality, affordable eyewear. That's why they offer thousands of stylish prescription glasses for adults and kids starting at just $6.95. At Zenni, you get the same high-quality frame and lens options that you'd get from an optician for 1/10 of the price, including blue light glasses, progressives, prescription sunglasses, and more. The best part? You can try on any frame from the comfort of your couch with their 3D virtual try-on. Stop overpaying for eyewear and check out Zenni.com. That's Zenni.com.
Just to think about the kind of thinking you had to do back then. You didn't have the advanced instrumentation, doing stuff in your head, calculating those things out, knowing how to read your basic instruments and stuff, and then fly like that. Yeah. How to be a pilot in those days. Not that it doesn't always take skill, obviously, but,
Yeah, we're taking away the credit from the guys flying nowadays. You guys are all relying on technology and your iPhones. Back in the day, you actually had to be a good pilot.
Let's see. What else we got here? You know what? Can I just say, can I do a video game one? Because that Top Gun had a video game for the Nintendo back in the 80s. Yes. And it was really hard. And the hardest part about that was how you had to land and you couldn't pause. I remember this is a game you couldn't pause. Once you started a mission, there was no pause button. So you had to play it through to completion. And you had to land.
Very inconvenient.
Oh my God. The landing on the aircraft carrier was the hardest thing because you had to get the speed just right. You couldn't be too fast or too slow. You couldn't be too low or too high. And then if you didn't get it, it would do a cutscene of your plane crashing into the ocean or overshooting it and blowing up.
Dude, yeah. Have you ever watched those pilots land on the air cruisers? Oh my God, it is so stressful. They have a system within it because obviously you don't have a giant airfield to put reverse engines and slow yourself down.
Yeah.
But they literally have this literally looks like a rope, and right when it lands, it catches the landing gear and goes, and then you're fine. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Super intense.
They talk about that as a side note too in Devotion, that Korean War movie. I've talked about it before. It's about the first African-American Navy carrier pilot, and him and his buddy fly in Korean War. One of them gets shot down. The other guy crash lands so he could save him. Gets the Medal of Honor for it. But the book goes into detail about just how difficult it was to land on an aircraft carrier back then. And back then they were I think it was wooden planks, wooden carrier, landing strip, and there was such a small margin of error, and there were a couple of stories where a couple of guys they knew died because they didn't make it,
oh my God,
if they get too low, the wind would take them out, and they would, oh my gosh,
that's so stressful.
Yeah, man. So hats off to you, carrier pilots.
Yeah, carrier personnel and pilots landing on that stuff. That's a hard job right there. Plus, in the middle of the ocean, I'm not a fan of the water.
Yeah.
So that's a quick side note. So my grandfather was an Air Force pilot in Vietnam, and he said he think that this guy flew hundreds of missions, thousands of landings. He said the most difficult thing he ever had to do was land on an aircraft carrier at night and to get his wings he had to do that.
Oh my
He
gosh.
said it's just the most difficult thing he ever had to do.
I'm sure. Golly, damn, that's crazy. Being a pilot, man, so much
Nerves
can
of
go wrong.
steel.
Yeah, literally, you just got to go for it, dude.
Yeah. Our experts react guy, the pilot, who was like the fighter pilot, you could look at him and he's not like I think there were a lot of criticism of like, he's not like a showman. He's not like a personally charismatic guy, whatever, or a performer. The dude's so smart. Like when he picks apart like the video game stuff, they do like Ace Combat stuff. And he's just like, well, that's not really this. And he'll like go on about the math and like all the terminology and how to do it and stuff like that. Like, I really enjoyed it because I'm like, you can tell this guy, I want this guy to be flying over my country, or over somebody else's country doing work for the Americans, because this dude has it up here.
He's got all the brains.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm like, I don't care if he, isn't much of a showman on a YouTube video. I want him flying a plane.
No, definitely. Let's go hit
What else,
one or
man?
two more of these.
Well,
ones,
okay.
dude.
Well, let's talk about Air Force One.
Never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Harrison Ford, action movie. He plays what is it? Jack Ryan, who is now not Jack Ryan. He doesn't play Jack Ryan. Okay, is that a Tom Clancy novel?
No, Air Force One is just a fanciful film that they made.
Oh, okay.
He's the president.
Oh, okay. He's the president. Okay.
Yeah.
But he played Jack Ryan in Clear and Present Danger.
Correct, in Patriot Games.
In Patriot Games. That's okay. So that's maybe why you can understand.
No,
I
I can understand, but you just lost like 50 nerd points.
Oh.
Yeah.
man.
So now you're back.
Can't win them all.
Only
is
triple
he?
digits now. You're not in quadruple digits.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm gonna get him back right now. Air Force One. Harrison Ford is the president of the United States, which is awesome. And some Russian terrorists led by Gary Oldman take over Air Force One. And they make all these demands and stuff. And they, in the beginning, when they're making a run to capture the president, his Secret Service members actually get him down to he has like an escape pod that looks like an old spaceship lander kind of thing module. And they get him there, but then he doesn't take it. It goes off by itself and he stays on the plane.
I have seen this
because his
movie,
family's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that amazing line at the end when he's fighting Gary Oldman, he's like, "Get off my plane!" Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I gotta watch that now. I gotta watch all these movies.
Man, my
okay.
list grows longer and longer. I swear to God.
I think there's a noble sacrifice in that movie too, if I remember correctly. There's some escorts, obviously, because the terrorists are there. They got him there, and so the U.S. is flying escort, and then I think somebody fires a missile at Air Force One, and then one of the pilots sacrifices himself and gets in the way and gets blown up and stuff like that.
Some intense shit.
Yeah.
There was a movie that came out. It was about was it Red Tails?
Red Tails,
Did you watch Red Tails?
I have not seen Red Tails.
I have not seen it.
And they've done a few incarnations, I think, of
because they're
Tuskegee Airmen.
I mean, it's a really famous group of airmen. It was all African American airmen during World War II.
Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty good story.
Produced by George Lucas, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was kind of the last thing that Lucasfilm did before they sold it to the the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the Disney.
Oh no. But yeah, that one, I definitely have to check that one. I heard good things about it just because it is a very powerful story.
Yeah.
And because Red Tails was 2012, and then Tuskegee Airmen was 1995.
Tuskegee Airmen, yeah.
Looks like it on my notes here. I can't talk like I've seen the movie, but I definitely want to see the movie because I mean, the whole African American groups of individuals working together. Because I know, like we've talked about in the Korean War, when there was bless you, Amy. And there was the all African American, which I think would be a badass movie. During the Korean War, the all African American Ranger Company. I think it was 2nd Ranger Company. I think. Let me just double check.
While you're looking for that, there's another one in the video game Battlefield 1. It starts off with a black character, and then they actually say, or they talk about in the game that there was actually the 357th, I think. That was an all-black regiment, and they had a reputation for being like just really good fighters in World War I. So.
Yeah, it was the 2nd Ranger Infantry Company during Korea's all African American Ranger Company.
Dude, yeah, let's make some more of those stories.
That would be such a cool one because you didn't see that back then, especially at the height of racism and all that shit.
Sure, and that's what makes things like the Red Tails and these 2nd Ranger kind of thing even more prevalent because they were living in a more segregated, a harsher time where there are actual like laws in place and stuff.
Yeah.
And they still served.
Yeah, and they still serve their
Yeah.
country even though they're at the kind of the cusp of it.
Yeah, I heard an interview once with the Tuskegee Airman who was like, obviously super old recently and stuff, but he's like, I did it because it's the promise of America that, the kind of the Constitution.
It's the American you want to build, not the America that you're living in.
Yeah, so
which
it's
is
really noble.
Extremely honorable. Yeah,
exactly.
That stories like those are the men that you want on your team.
Yes.
Regardless of all the prejudice and the segregation they face, they're fighting for the future, not fighting for the present.
Yeah.
Which is very noble. I really like that.
Yep.
Absolutely, man.
I got one more. It's not on our list, but I just thought of it since we're talking about aviation. Firebirds, starring Nicolas Cage. Yes.
We can talk about Con Air then too. Might as well.
We're talking about Con Air.
Con Air doesn't. No.
No, can't talk about Con Air.
Those are criminals. We don't want to glorify criminals flying planes.
Really?
He just wants to do it because he was a ranger.
Yeah, he was a ranger, and he was in 2nd Ranger Battalion, and his name is Cameron, and it's based off a true story.
It's a true story, true life story.
Exactly. When I got out of the military.
No, but Firebirds is one of those classic like 80s Cold War style movies, where Nicolas Cage and Sean Young, I think, is in it, and Tommy Lee Jones. They're Apache AH-60 pilots, so helicopter pilots. And it's like this elite program, and he's like this hotshot pilot. And there's this one, and he's a Russian pilot, and he has this little bird attack, helicopter that's like the scourge of the Middle East or something like that, and they've got to train up to get this guy,
man.
And it's awesome. It's just a classic. If you like Nicolas Cage, it's classic Nicolas Cage.
Okay, perfect. I'll have to add that to my list. What's it called? Firebirds.
I have it on DVD.
You have it?
Oh yeah,
I'll have to borrow it.
I'll let you borrow it, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's bad.
That's one of those ones I found it recently. It's like in the $5 bin at Best Buy.
Oh, of course.
I was like, I have to get this
It's on the
$5
bin, and it's on sale for like $1.99.
Yes,
yeah,
yep. It's free on Amazon.
Yeah, that's awesome. Firebirds. I have to check that one.
Another great. The helicopter pilots don't get enough love.
No, dude. I don't even think there's a lot of helicopter pilot movies. I mean, Black Hawk Down is a helicopter movie.
It has helicopters in it. Did you guys? Can we just like get really far off the thread? Did you guys ever see Daryl?
I've seen Daryl. He
flies
an SR-71 in that.
He flies an SR-71.
That's my favorite jet ever manufactured because no one knows how fast it goes.
Really?
They never say. They say it can go like at least 3,000 miles an hour. That's as fast as they
an old
say it
movie,
goes.
huh?
Daryl?
He's a child.
Yep.
He is. He's a computer.
Oh,
yeah, he's got a computer chip in his brain for a brain, basically.
Oh,
and it's a government experiment, and he escapes. Somebody helps him escape, and then he kind of goes to suburban America, and a family adopts him. But then he gets taken by the government. And in order to escape, he jumps inside an SR-71 and flies it with his mind or something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of other plane movies, Snakes on a Plane. I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. We're talking about aviators.
I'm happy to say
that's not the same.
No character
that
we are talking about pilots that plane. Sam Jackson doesn't pilot a plane.
The snakes pilot the plane.
The snakes pilot
Look,
the plane.
if you keep going down this route, we're going to be talking about Superman because he can fly. It's not the same.
Let's talk about Superman.
I actually fell asleep during the last Superman. What is it? The Man of Iron or whatever. Yeah, Man of Steel.
Wait, did you fall asleep during Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, or
Man of Steel,
Justice League?
The one where the guy's murdering all the Rangers.
Yes, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Yeah, I fell asleep during it.
Dude,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm real tired.
Yeah, first Ranger went down. He's like, "This movie's bullshit," and falls asleep.
Yeah, he's like, screw it.
You
lost. You lost.
I remember a couple movies I've fallen asleep during that were like cinematic, like gold. It was Man of Steel and then Life of Pi. I passed out during Life of Pi.
You're not going to get me. You can pay me to watch Life of Pi.
Yeah, no, I fell asleep real fast. I didn't just like fall asleep standing up. I like lifted the armchair of the two chairs next to me and like completely laid down and laid across. I remember.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because I was like, this movie's dumb.
Where's Nicolas Cage when you need him?
There's no Nicolas Cage in this movie. I don't
he
want
makes
to watch
everyone.
it.
Any last minute suggestion? Any last minute?
Well, Chris doesn't want to talk about Snakes on a Plane, so I guess it's a good time to transition to the game.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Chris.
You're in my world now. I'm the game master.
I'm going to kill myself.
No, you're in my world. You can't do that.
Okay.
Oh man, we don't even have free will in Chris's world.
No.
No, there's only the game.
Only the game. You must play the game to kill
Like
yourself.
Squid Game.
And this game is called Winging it.
Winging it.
Hey! We're have to guess different flavors of hot wings.
Yeah, we have a platter here. Heat
You have to
scale
tell me-
1 to 6, and you got to tell me whether it's Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings, or some random pizza.
I was going to go the other way. I was going
Popeyes.
to say you have to eat the wings and tell me where it ranks on the Scoville scale.
Oh,
So you have to tell me how hot it actually is.
I would not last
so
very
this is
long
what?
in that
Was
game.
this hot ones?
No,
Hot
this is
ones,
winging
yeah.
it. It's different.
Okay.
But we're still going to interview celebrities. It's pretty much the same format, but it's called winging it, not
Winging
hot
it.
ones.
Okay, got it.
Actually, winging it, better name. Anyway.
Yeah.
So to be completely on theme, this game is aircraft related.
Okay.
Duh. I'm going to say
Something
the
I know
nickname of an
nothing.
aircraft, and you tell me if it's a real airplane or some whimsical thing that I came up with.
You're going to give us a name, and we're going to tell you if it's a real plane.
I'm
or
going to
not.
tell you. You'll see in the warm up. It's pretty clear.
Okay.
And then you get bonus points if you can tell me what
Country
the
of origin.
what airplane it is.
Okay.
Like if you can tell me like the number or whatever's associated with it, apart from the nickname.
Okay. Oh, okay,
man,
cool.
This may be the hardest game we've ever played.
Yeah, I definitely didn't review my aircraft nomenclature before coming here.
I saw you had something written on your hand, but
Yeah.
maybe it's a new tattoo. Okay. So the warm up,
That was my name, because sometimes I forget my name.
like, and I'm
Hi,
I'm Cameron Fath, Formy Army Ranger.
Yeah.
Formy? Okay.
For me.
Here we
Former
go.
Farmy Ranger.
Former Marmy.
So the warm up is the Tomcat.
The Tomcat. Can we give you a time period?
Can you give us a time period?
I can. Think Top Gun.
Oh,
Was the
F-18.
Yeah, no, that's
F-17 Tomcat?
F-17 Tomcat.
It's an F-14.
F-14?
This is really going to be the hardest game we've
We got
ever
the
played.
Damn you
We got-
and your nerd shit.
we got the F right.
Well, I use the internet.
F-14
You want
Tomcat.
a name? Let's talk weapon systems, shall we?
No, that's when you write the game, you can do it. But
Okay.
this time
Next
I
game,
reviewed.
Fair,
weapon systems.
fair.
All right. So that was the warm up.
All right.
So that's supposed to be the easier one.
All right.
All right. A Mustang.
Ah, the Mustang. That's a very fast plane. That's World War II, the B fighter planes. I don't remember. B-22? B-22?
Oh wait. So hold on. We're losing the lead here. You just tell me whether it's a real name of a plane.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Mustang.
and then
is
you
it.
get bonus points if you can tell me what it is.
Okay, yes, that is a real plane. I think it's a B-22 fighter.
It's a real plane. It's not a B-22.
Is it?
These are bombers. This is
Oh, okay.
F.
F-22?
no, it was a P.
P-11.
51.
P-51.
P-51 Mustang.
You
It
almost
was-
got it
I
in
got
on
it.
time.
Yeah, so it wasn't the U.S.'s fighter plane.
It was.
Okay, yeah.
Mustang sounds about.
And I was going to put Spitfire, but then when I looked into it, that was just the name of the plane.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you're telling me whether it's a real name.
Oh, okay.
So that part's might
Yes
be
or no?
easier. Yeah, that's 50-50.
Okay.
The number, the
plane.
the number,
The plane.
Plane.
the number's bonus
plane.
points, which clearly I don't think you're going to get. Okay. So Mustang is a real plane. Very good. You got it.
Got it.
Next one, Thunder Scepter.
Not a real plane.
Not a real plane.
It is a real plane.
Okay. This is going to be
It's
real
the
hard.
XF-91. It's a real plane. Thunder Scepter.
What nerd came up with that name?
I don't know, but I found a lot of weird plane names. There's one called
Thunderceptor.
Yeah, you know what? I'm
the
not a big,
Pregnant Guppy.
Does it intercept thunder? What is that? You know?
It's a
real
Thunderceptor.
big side note, but we have a new general in my National Guard unit, and we're the 160th, and our unit patch has a lightning bolt on it, and for some fucking reason, this guy's trying to incorporate saying thunderbolts. There are no thunderbolts. Thunderbolt isn't a thing.
It's a single bolt.
Yeah, it's like
Thunderbolt.
he's trying to say thunderbolt, and and then we respond with
just
like
wants-
fight on or something, and it's just like
gross.
there are no thunderbolts. There's lightning bolts, but there are no thunderbolts. So I'm just trying to fight it real hard.
Good idea, Fairy Strikes.
You know what?
Again.
You should bring that up to him. I'm sure he'll take it very well.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he was around the other day. We had like a meeting between the scouts and him, and he just kept saying, "All right, I'm trying to make this thing. I'm going to say thunderbolt, and you guys say like fight on or something." And I'm just like, there are no thunderbolts, man. There's lightning
Okay.
bolts. Anyway, side note.
So you're 50% right now.
Okay,
Next one, Rocket Fire.
not a real plane.
Not a real plane.
It's made up.
Yay!
I made it up. It's not a real plane.
Rocket Fire.
2 for 3.
Sounds like something a general would make up.
The Venom.
The Venom.
That
sounds like a real plane.
But what kind of plane? I don't know.
The Venom.
Are you saying real?
Yeah, we're
I'm
saying
gonna say
real.
plane.
It is real.
And it is a Japanese plane.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's a DH-112.
DH. It's a helicopter, right?
I don't think DH is helicopter.
Oh, I
Actually,
thought-
there's one on here that like...
It's
I
a
thought
British post-war single-engine aircraft developed and manufactured by the de Havilland Aircraft Company.
Oh, there you
De
go.
Havilland, okay.
The DH is the de Havilland. Cool.
Yeah, so it looks like a
All right.
cool.
Quit Googling this.
I'm googling.
All right,
after.
next one. Phantom.
The Phantom.
F4 Phantom. I think,
That's doubly correct.
Yes.
That was really
F4
fast.
Phantom.
It
Was
was.
it from Battlefield? You played some Battlefield
I
recently?
don't know. It's got to be an Apex or something
That's
like
a
that.
great plane. I was watching the first Avengers movie, and in their giant air carrier thing,
Oh, that
Hulk
looks like
destroys
a
a
Russian.
plane, and I was like, "That's an F4. That's a really old plane to be on this futuristic ship."
Oh, nice. F4
Yeah, it
Phantom.
looks like made by
McDonnell
McDonnell
Douglas.
Aircraft for the United States Navy.
Made by McDonald's.
Made by McDonald's.
They double up in fast food.
Powered on fry grease.
That's right. Fast food and airplanes.
All right. The Arrowhead.
The Arrowhead. Oh, that could be a real plane.
That could go either way.
That sounds.
That's pretty good.
legit.
I'm going to say no.
I'm just call it a real plane.
You're going real, you're going fake?
Yep.
It's fake. I made it up.
Oh my god.
There was, or there is, a plane called the CF-105 Arrow. And guess what shape it is in? It looks like an arrowhead.
Oh, I was going to say octopus, but
Oh, wow. You would have been really wrong.
Samsonite.
You were way off. All right, next one. Jester.
The Jester.
That is real.
That is a real plane.
Yep.
You guys going real?
Going
That is
real.
going real.
It's made up.
Wow.
Jester was one of the pilots in Top Gun. That's where I got the name.
That's what I get for trusting in you.
You don't trust me. And then
No,
the
me.
last one, Mohawk.
Yeah, that's a real plane.
Mohawk?
I'm gonna go with that's a real plane.
Okay.
It is a real plane. It's the. Do you want to try and guess the number?
The Mohawk?
The Mohawk. The start of the C.
No, you're never gonna guess it because I didn't even know they numbered them this way.
Oh,
X?
I don't know.
It's,
Is it
it's the
X?
OV-1.
OV-1 Mohawk.
Yeah.
What kind of plane?
It's got like two propellers. I think it's made to like the propellers tilt up and it can
What
take
the
straight
heck
off
is
and
this?
then
This
go.
looks like some
Okay.
marine shit.
Yeah, it's. I
it-
think I forget what it's. It's a spy plane. I think. Anyway, you guys did terrible.
You didn't get the Thunderbolt in there, the A-10 Thunderbolt.
Thunderceptor.
The Thunderceptor, oh my gosh.
A10 is a warthog.
Yeah, A-10 Warhawk, yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
there were
A10,
a
do you
bunch
know-
of
You're
weird
right, what is the
names.
Thunderbolt?
Do you know what an Osprey is? If that's a real one.
That's a Marine.
That is one. That is the one that like takes.
That's the
straight
VTOL.
up.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
the worst plane ever designed, my
Right,
friend. The CV-22 Osprey is terrifying.
They, I've heard they've had a lot of complaints about it.
Oh yeah, have you ever ridden one?
No.
Oh my god, terrifying, dude. Yeah, we had to take a CV-22 from Syria to, I believe, to Iraq.
Wow.
We drove one, and they are the scariest fucking things ever.
You never told me you went to Iraq. What was that for?
Oh, on the way back. We
Oh,
spent
just on the way
spent like 2 weeks in Iraq on the way back.
Well, where at?
Just at one of the beaches, nice
Yeah,
vacation
just
spot.
nice staycation there. Oh man, I have a shirt. Fuck, I can't remember the name. It was one of the biggest bases in Iraq, but it's not that Bagram's Afghanistan.
Just like Baghdad?
Sorta. I gotta find the shirt. I have a Harley Davidson shirt that I bought from one of the little markets they have
Nice.
there with all the dudes selling it. Man, I always forget what this place is called because we spent 2 weeks there. I'll get it. to you.
Kabul.
No.
Kabul's in Afghanistan.
Kabul's
yeah.
in the capital of Afghanistan.
What's the one? Where were you?
Oh, wait, Kabul. Kabul Airport.
Yeah, where were you in Iraq?
I was in Mosul.
Mosul. That's what I was thinking.
Mosul, Tikrit, what is it? What's that? The one to the Erbil.
Erbil. That's where I was.
Erbil's
Erbil.
great. That's
Yeah.
in the green zone, man. You're probably chilling.
Oh yeah, big time chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, the Kurds took over like, this is our town now.
Yeah, we were in Erbil.
No
That's where we
terrorism.
were. Yeah, we
Yeah.
stopped in Erbil on the way back.
Erbil's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's where I took a couple trips there. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Well, that
And-
was an extremely challenging game. Chris.
That was, but that was fun
I hope you
and
got
challenging.
I hope you got your rocks off seeing us fail.
I did.
Yes, you did. That's what friends are for. We love to watch each other fail.
Well, folks, that's all the time we got for today. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening in. We release a new podcast episode every Wednesday. The YouTube episode version is up usually on the Friday following, and it's got some extra content, so go and subscribe, like, and share at our YouTube page.
If you guys would like to support the podcast, you can go ahead and buy us a coffee, or it's called Buy Me a Coffee.
Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah, it allows you guys to send us a little bit of money just to support the podcast. If you love what you hear,
podcast,
it's up to you. We don't take the money. We reinvest it into the podcast. So if you guys want to support the channel, go ahead and buy us a coffee.
And you can find a link for that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's included on any of the videos.
Yes,
But
sir.
we also have an Instagram page, PCFM Podcast. If you want to go check that out, support us and follow us there. We have an email. If you want to send us an email, we love reading your emails. As always, good relationship there. PCFMPodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I have a Twitch page. I stream a couple days a week. Twitch.tv/myhappyself.
And if you guys want to support my streetwear brand, Kit God, you can find us on Instagram at Kit God Apparel or on our website at kitgodapparel.com. As always, folks, thank you for listening, and cue music!